Now, what a whirlwind weekend it's been. And I'm back in the studio now, away from Ahmedabad that was in the grip of World Cup fever. Now, the three positives that we have to look at for the Indian cricket team from that win last evening. Number one has to be Rohit Sharma. There's something about this batter and the big stage. Come the World Cups, and he stamped his authority on it. He did that in the previous edition in 2019 in England. And though he stumbled in his very first game against Australia in this edition, the next two have seen Rohit Sharma step up. He scored 100 against Afghanistan in Delhi and a half-century against Pakistan to steer the run chase. Moderate targets both, but the class and his form all shining through. Boding well for his next upcoming match in this week. There are two of them that India will be playing. And as a captain, he seems to be finding his feet as well.
Abdullah Shafiq's wicket was taken with a plan between Rohit and I. One ball earlier, I had bowled a bouncer to him. But then I talked to Rohit and spent time with him. Shafiq thought that I will bowl a bouncer again, so he was back in the crease. But I bowled it ahead and it became successful for the team. Rohit is a legend.
A very candid Mohammad Siraj, and it just shows the kind of camaraderie and atmosphere that's there in the Indian side. All right, on to reason number two, Jasprit Bumrah. Now, we know how important it is for a pacer to perform in the subcontinent conditions. It's not easy. They aren't conducive to fast bowling, and that's why one of them firing always bodes well for a team's campaign. And Jasprit Bumrah has made his comeback in style. The track doesn't matter. His skill is enough to put the team ahead.
See, at the end of the day, you guys will anyway decide that this is, I was like this, I was like that, what I'm doing. So, but I don't work like that. As I told you, I look at on that day what I have to do. I look at my preparations, and I'm a little detached person. I don't know what's going around in the world. So I just looked at what I have to do at that particular day. And obviously reading the game, reading your strengths, that what has worked for me in the past as well, keeping all of those things in mind, keep going forward.
That delivery that to dismiss Mohammad Rizwan is one that will be talked of for days and weeks and months to come. But on to number three, reason and positive number three. Though it wasn't the most flamboyant of knocks, Shreyas's half-century is timely and sure to give him that confidence ahead of the next match that they have. He too has made his way after an injury break. So these runs, only lift his morale ahead of the next phase of the tournament. All right, we looked at the three positives for India after that win. We have to look at some of the concerns for Pakistan as they tackle the rest of the campaign. Number one has to be the batting collapse. Crumbling from 155 for 2 to 170 odd for 7 would make them go back to the drawing board and figure out just what went wrong. A very mercurial performance just after a scintillating one where the middle order stood up and delivered against the Lungans. That is a bit of a concern. Their next match is against Australia. So surely that will be a matchup that will test their batting another time.
Yeah, I just think we were a little bit timid tonight with our overall performance. I would have liked us to really take the game on just a little bit more. It's a massive occasion, as we know, but I think we just went into our shells just a little bit. And to go from 155 for 2, if it was, to 190 odd all out is just not on. Yeah, credit to India. I thought they bowled really well, but I just thought our performance was just a little bit timid.
The second concern will have to be Shaheen Shah Afridi, and we were not really expecting his name to sort of figure in a concern list. Now, what felt like him starting off on a searing note in international cricket has not really gone the distance in this particular World Cup, at least not just yet. The pacer doesn't seem to be in his elements just so far, and with the tournament inching towards the halfway mark, it is about time Shaheen focused on making an impact right at the top to give his team that solid start.
Look, we've been doing a little bit of work behind the scenes. Look, it'd be remiss of me to discuss it out here, but we've been doing some work with them. For me, it's just about confidence. The key for us now is getting our players to remain calm. It's getting our players to focus on the next game, and it's to build them up and make sure that they go into that next game thinking they can run through a brick wall. yes, there are technical aspects, and those are things that we look at every day with our players.
Of course, Coach Mickey Arthur there really sort of softening the blows or the questions coming in from the media. But of course, that leads to the third concern. We spoke about the coach. The other sort of key component in a team setup has to be the captain, Babar Azam. Yes, he scored a half century, but we really haven't seen the best of him just yet. The next big one, and we know that could be around the corner, and it's just a matter of time, and it better come soon, especially at the rate at which he dominates the opposition. That hasn't happened so far. And if Pakistan wants to improve their chances of qualifying for the semi-final, Babar Azam has to strike and strike hard. He did well, in fact, in the last edition of the Cricket World Cup, where he struck 100 and 350s. So he'll have to just sort of rekindle that performance on the big stage that he does so well and show some glimpses of that spark once more.
Look, they're classy performers, and they've done it day in and day out for Pakistan over an extended period of time. So I'm not going to sit here and castigate them for that. As I said, I thought we were a little bit timid. I did think we could probably have taken on the Indian spinners just a little bit more. It was a wicket that didn't turn massively, and I thought we needed to put some pressure back. But again, they were building nicely. I think we've got to realise that there are two ways to always skin a cat. And we've had success by taking it deep and then cashing in at the back end. That's been our style, that's been our brand, but we didn't play the Pakistan way tonight, and that was the disappointing aspect of it for me.
It's the dream of every cricketer, the ultimate glory. Few manage to keep their date with destiny, but for many, it's been heartbreaks and a cross to bear. The Holy Grail is here in India. I'm Rupa Ramani, and First Post brings you the ringside view. We bring you the Cup of Dreams. Cricket World Cup coverage like never before.